Well, good Sunday morning to you. It is the week of RatStock. We're pretty close, but we still have a bunch more to do. We have no running boards. I did get the radiator installed yesterday, the oil cooler, put the fenders back on the front here, put the wiring under the dash. So it starts and runs as such, which is a good thing because I have to get it to the glass guy tomorrow, at least for a windshield and rear glass. We're probably not getting windows for RatStock, door windows for RatStock. So what I got to do today to button this up is we got to fill the cooling system. We got to hook up the oil cooler, get the plugs and harnesses for the headlights and taillights run and plugged in. Those are the mandatory things. I would really like to get the running boards at least started, if not completed. I'm pushing my luck, I know. Anyways, welcome to the thrash. It's the last full day I'll have this car alone. Well, we're about an hour into it, maybe an hour and a half. And let me tell you, I can definitely come over to your shop if you want and spill stuff all over the floor and make a mess of things. You can see lots of chunks of radiator hose here. That's probably because what I did was when I was making the upper radiator hose, I cut the stock one, which I thought was going to fit, just a little bit too short. So if I can lift the camera up here because we're already on the lift, you can see what we did there. It looks nice now. That's a piece of exhaust pipe in the middle because I cut the stock one and I needed a bend, so I had to undo that. So I got to clean up my kitty litter here because I realized that my oil jug was full and I had nowhere to drain the oil from the S10. So I had to try and empty that, and I came over here trying to put it in some used oil jugs, which are over there, and it just spilled out all over here. Also had to get out the oil filter wrench here because, well, yeah. So I'm going to put a new filter in, drop it down, continue filling with coolant. Then we're going to let it run so we can see if the thermostat opens. It's brand new, so it should. And from there, what are we going to do? Oh, then we're going to mount the fan on the front there. So that's your kind of late morning update. I'm going to keep working and probably not record a whole bunch just because I really need to kind of crank on this thing. So I'm going to clean up this stuff and keep moving. Okay, well, we got new oil in, new filter, put a bunch of coolant in, but actually I think we need a whole bunch more. I think that we just got to get it cycling with the water pump and get the thermostat open so we can get some fluid moving in there. So hooked up the oil cooler line, hooked up the trans cooler lines. We are going to start this up, make sure we're getting oil pressure and such. So master disconnect, keys in there, so we're buzzing. So this is kind of like the cold start thing here. So let me put my gauge cluster somewheres. Well, it's fine. Let's see what happens. We got 40 pounds of oil pressure. No volts though, that's concerning. All right, well, I'm going to let it run for a little bit, and we'll let it warm up, push some fluid around, and we'll see what's happening. Well, here's an update for you. That was a waste of an hour of my time. Every single braided line fitting that airbag had sent me leaks. All of them. Every single fitting. There's no O-rings in this. This doesn't spin freely on the line. So if you're trying to do the line, put it on, take it off, doesn't matter. The whole braided line has to spin. You'll see there's nasty kicks in here. So we solved that by just going to the old hardware store and clamps with barbed fittings. That's rated to 140 PSI. We're only going to be running 100, so that'll be fine. But wasted an hour because I had to undo everything, go to the hardware store, pick up new stuff, take everything out, put it back in. So it's pressurized now. You can see I just used the compressor in the shop to charge this. I just put it up to 90-ish. And we're holding. And I'm not hearing anything. So I'm saying we solved the problem and just wasted an hour when it could have just been, you know, run what the company sends you. Unfortunately, their stuff apparently is no good. So what I'm going to do, I think, is proof of concept. Drop it down since we got it running. Transmission's full, radiator's full, oil's topped off, battery's good. Yeah, I think let's probably take it off the lift, see if we can just do a little loop-de-doop, make sure we stop and go, and you know, a little bit of motivation to continue the, you know, Sunday afternoon work. Well, here you go. We are setting at ride height on the airbags. This is the first it's been on the suspension with the body and all the fenders on. And I am going to try and fire this thing up, take it for a little loop around the end of the neighborhood here. So we're getting there, man. It would be appropriate that Dave's gone, Jamie's at the store, and I'm going to fire this thing up, do a little lap. Fortunately, we're at a cul-de-sac here, and no one's going to be down here to bother me. And I had contemplated going for a ride and leaving the driver door off just in case I have to bail out, let it roll into a ditch, but I think we're good. I trust the brakes that we put on there. So let's get this thing fired up. Take it for a quick little loopy-doop. See how it goes. Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, let me tell you what, that little V6 4.3 liter Vortex sounds awesome. Brake pedal's nice and firm. This is it. Drop down the airbag, sitting here in the driveway. And I think it looks pretty sweet. With a running board along the bottom there, it's gonna look awesome. Got a put on the front headlight buckets, hook up the wires for the headlights and tail lights. I don't know that I'm doing the running boards today. It's got to go to the glass guy tomorrow. So I got to put the fan on. That would be important. And bring earplugs when we're going for our hour-long cruise from RatStock at PsychoSilo Saloon to Davenport, Iowa. So if I get around to it, it'd be awesome to throw the bumpers on there as well, because like I said, my little Shrek ears look weird without anything on there. I think the chop is killer. I think it's an awesome ride. So I'm going to pull it back in and probably throw the fan on. That'll be my project for the remainder of this afternoon. All right, the master's back up there so we can do the fan for the radiator. But I tell you what, I am one lucky dude to keep getting notes like this and being able to eat out here and do dishes out in this garage, because you know what, this project has taken away a lot of time from her. So I said it the last time, I'll say it again. Thank you, Jamie, for letting me work on this turd bucket that's up here right now. I really appreciate the time that I've had. Well, I put the fan in, and I mentioned it before that I can easily turn a 5-minute job into an hour's worth of work because I knew it was a reversible fan, right? Shouldn't be a problem, right? Thought you just reverse the polarity. Turns out what you have to do is turn the fan blade around in addition to changing the polarity, making the black positive. Well, that's awesome when you've already put it on there, and it comes with these one-time use zip doodads to hold it in there. So that means I got to cut those, and I'm going to have to thread a really small screw from front to back in the hole where the zip tie doodad was. So I'll be cutting that off now and redoing my work. 1:30 in the morning update. I'm frustrated and tired, but I have 0 time left that I can work on this, so I am continuing to work on this. So in the trunk, you'll notice some electrical stuff here. Well, that would be because somehow I managed to fry my relays there. So that means basically I just had to wire in a switch, on-off switch for the compressors. Whereas normally I think it would turn the compressors off at 100 PSI or something like that. So we had to basically do this. Super inconvenient and dumb, but I don't know how I fried the relays, but all they do is click now, so those are fried. Maybe advanced, I don't know. Maybe I'll go to a parts store and they'll have some GM relays. Maybe I can do that. Tail lights, brake lights work. Turn signals, nada. Up here, in the process of getting everything together, got the headlight buckets on there. You can see this one, it's just loosely fitted in there. Not doing anything really. Wish someone could explain to me why you would put body filler on the inside part of a headlight bucket, but that's what they did. So I'm in the process of working on the headlight ring for this one, and because it is late and because I was actually halfway proud of my little setup here, wait till you see what I did. Here is my welding setup right now. This is the ring right here, and you can see that I have it vice gripped with my ground to this. There were some big old rust holes in this. Let me get it apart with one hand. So there were some big old rust holes in this. So what I had to do was weld on some new metal so that we actually had some structure there. And then what I did was I took a number 8 screw and a number 10 nut on this side, and I drilled that out a little bit more so there's more room in that. And then I took my number 8 nut and I welded it on this side. So when I put this on, my headlight bucket, I can screw that and it will slide through this because there's no threads and it's bigger, and it will engage this, and then I can tighten the headlight ring on the headlight. So that's where it stands. I'm gonna put this on, put the other one on, and that's it for tonight, because you know, real life happens in work. So yeah, it's late and this is dumb. This has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever done. That is in the anti-meridian, not the afternoon. So, yep. All right, headlight buckets are on, bezels are on. No power to them yet. Ran the exhaust from there to there with a little kick out right here. Not what I intended, but it's there, it just dumps out right in front of the rear wheel. I don't know what else I did. It's really stupidly late. Got a leak somewhere because I got to keep charging that up, so I'm gonna have to figure that out before we hit the road. I don't know. It's stupid late. Oh, got the grill in. I had to do my little mounting bracket for both of the headlights, so you can see my little set screw there. That actually did work out quite well. So that trim ring is from the Model A. That one's what came with the car. This piece here is missing. There's a trim piece that goes there. I ordered it off the old eBay. We'll see if it gets here before the trip or not. Fan is wired in. Like I said, I busted the relays in the back, so we'll see if a parts store has GM relays tomorrow. Going to the glass guy in the morning. Well, anyways, that's Sunday. Hope you all had a better night than I did, but it'll be on the road tomorrow. Hey, it's Tuesday afternoon. Took her for a little cruise yesterday. Got the glass in there. It looks pretty badass as far as I'm concerned. That's not tinted. That's just a gray glass that the shop has. Looks pretty awesome. So cruise went fine. Runs pretty good. Runs real smooth with the airbags and the shocks that I put on there. So that's a total win. But we got it back on the lift because I'm actually going to have to do some modification to the rear window. I'm going to show that to you here in a second, but today is Tuesday. We are going to work on the rear window, get as much done as we possibly can, and it has to go back to the glass guy tomorrow, and I'll show you why here in just a second. Let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what's happening. All right, so here's our view of the car with our front glass in there. Looks pretty sweet, I think. Again, it's just a gray safety glass. That's what he has. It was that or totally clear or green, so went with the gray. Looks pretty sweet, I think. Not running any door glass for the trip. And then back here, got the quarter windows in both sides. Those also look awesome. It really makes the car look that much more towards finished with that in there. But back here, here's the issue. I did the chop. This part of the roof stayed perfectly flat. But if you look kind of on an angle like such, you'll see it does a little bit of a curve like that. And it needs to be perfectly flat. If it will focus on that part, there we go. So what we're gonna do is we are going to need to, kind of like I did up here. Now, if you've been watching the build since the beginning, you would see how I made those relief cuts in there. And what that accomplished was it took this part of the window and folded it forward. Well, I think when it did that on both sides, as that leaned in, this leaned up. This part here bulged up a little bit. So we're gonna put some relief cuts in here, maybe 5 of them. So we'll do the center and then 2 equally spaced on both sides of the window. I'll put a flat, straight edge behind it, so that I know, like this edge here is perfectly flat, so that we get this flat because he needs to lay a flat piece of glass in there, just like on the front. So, you know, again, I've never chopped a 4-door. I've never chopped any roof like this whatsoever. So that is, you know, one of those learning things. And we will get it fixed. Got to go back to the glass guy tomorrow, and we'll have a rear window in. So that's what I'm working on this evening, so I can get this knocked out and ready to go. Okay, so here's the concept. So on the top here, this edge of the window, I'm just using this as a flat straight edge. Notice that it is flush all the way along there. Since we're cutting flat glass, the bottom has to be flat as well. It can have a radius this way, it just can't come out away from the vehicle. Well, herein lies the problem. There's my straight edge clamp there, and you can see how far we got to come down. Sorry, this clamp's in the way. If you just focus through the clamp, you can see we've got to come down probably about 1 inch in the middle. So what we're going to do, as I said, is some relief cuts here, and we're going to push that forward. As I push it forward, I think it'll take the tension off of this edge, and we'll fold it down. We're going to have to make some multiple relief cuts, I think, and gently fold it down. And then as it comes down, we'll trim off and weld back together. just like we did on all of these relief cuts. And there were a lot of them, making cuts through all of these areas here so that I could fold this forward. So anyways, you know, it's going to look super cool when it's done. We just got to get, you know, that bump out of the back window there, take it back to our guy, and get some glass in it tomorrow. So I'm going to keep working. All right, here we are after just a few minutes actually. Some relief cuts made there, and you can see my bar here, and we are way better than we were. So here's what we're gonna do. I cleaned up along the relief cuts here with my grinder, and I think what I'll do is I'll put a couple tacks here along the way, make sure everything stays where it's supposed to, and then we will weld the whole thing up. All right, here's the final clamp up before the weld up. So again, you know, with my relief cuts here, we folded those bits forward to make this line, incredibly hard to see with all the clamps on there, to make that line flat. I'm just using that 3/4 inch bar stock as my template to make sure that that's flat on the bottom. And then the glass is just obviously gonna lean this direction. But I think we're good here. So I will set you on the tripod and do a little bit of recording here. A little bit of tack welding, I think, first. And after we've got it tacked, I will release all the clamps, make sure it stays put where it is. As long as it stays put where it is, then we will do the final welding and call this part of the project complete, I think, maybe, for the most part. And then we'll do other stuff. All right, thanks. I'm gonna get welding. All right, well, here we are. We got our profile changed. It does change the curve here a little bit, but I am not worried about that at all. This little baby hump here kind of matches this bigger baby bump back here. So if I get my, let me just pull you out here. If I get my straight edge, and now I hold it there, we are good all the way across. That looks good. I got a shorter piece here, and from there to there, that should support a nice flat piece of glass from top to bottom. So what we'll do now is zap all of that stuff in there. So yeah, hey, good progress. Didn't take terribly long to get this far. So we're going to work on just doing the welding, and then, you know, move on to whatever we can get to after, of course, volleyball tonight. So I'll probably be out here late tonight finishing stuff up, and, you know, just got to keep rolling forward. Another one. Yeah. All right, well, it is 11:06 on Tuesday evening. Got home from volleyball. My parents are visiting. Studied some science with my daughter, and now we're gonna weld this up because this is going back to the glass guy tomorrow at 8 a.m. So I'm gonna do this as quick as I can. I got my air hose over here so that we can kind of keep our welds cool and move along pretty quickly, I hope. So probably just gonna do lots of little, you know, do a couple on each one. I'm just gonna go back and forth, try and keep the metal as cool as possible without getting it warped, so that we can get done quickly. All right, no point in wasting any more time. about a half an hour worth of welding and grinding and such. I can tell you, after doing all of this, which was pretty complicated, I would not recommend trying that for the first time you're ever doing a 4-door sedan roof chop, bringing it down 4 inches. That was probably a little bit much, but after doing all of those things, this was kind of like nothing, no big deal at all. So welded them up, ground them flat as I think we need to. And then just for reference, so again, here's just a straight piece. So we can get a flat piece of glass on there from top to bottom. You can see that. This is my other piece here. And if I can hold it there, you can, if you remember the gap that was there before, which on this video probably will only be a few minutes, I think it looks pretty good. That should hold a piece of glass there. So we'll consider that job done. Next thing I have to do is these quarter windows here. They are held in by the garnish molding, which I haven't touched since I did the chop here. So if we go back to the back table here, I have one of those pieces of glass here. And just for reference, yeah, we gotta shrink that garnish molding a good bit to make that fit. So this should be interesting. So I need to do this. Well, I don't have to do it right now because it's going back to the glass guy tomorrow. I could adjust as well. Leave these out like I did on the way home, but it needs to be done anyways. It's about 11:45 now, so I might as well try one, see how it goes. If it's absolutely terrible, I'll give up on it and try again tomorrow. But that's the plan for now. So yeah. All right, let's get rolling. Well, this really is just a shot in the dark. It seems to match my, I decided that I didn't want to have the glass over here, so I made the cardboard template, and it seems to match up pretty well. So, take it over to the car and see how awful it actually is. So I'll go poke that in there now and take a look at it. Well, all right, so here's inside the car, and we are just a little bit too big. I guess that's good though. We're gonna have to trim down a little bit of height. Length seems good. We might need to make that corner on the frame a little bit more pinched. So I'm gonna go take this back, just a couple tacks holding that together. And I'm gonna cut this down just a little bit. Ooh, almost lost the window. So we'll cut that down. See if I can do this. Beauty. Okay, cut this down just a little bit, come back, make it fit better. Well, there you go. We got our garnish molding in. I trimmed it a little too short on that side, and then the same thing on this side. It's a little bit short. You can see that gap there on the bottom. Hey, it's my first time trying it. It's a rat rod. I'm gonna take it. It's about 1:45 in the morning. I am calling it a night, and I got to get this back to the glass guy tomorrow to put that thing in there. So, yep, that's the plan. Good night. Now that is a manwich right there. Well, you should probably notice 2 things about this situation. First off, I'm soaking wet. Second, it's pouring rain outside. Because I was trying to get things ready to leave, like, you know, getting the chicken coop set up, feeding the pig, all that kind of stuff. And the car is still at the glass shop, and we were just getting windshield and rear windows, not any glass in the doors. So I might just put it on a trailer, bring it home. And so I can actually do some work today. And this is Wednesday. It is Wednesday the 18th, and we need to leave first thing in the morning tomorrow, Thursday, to drive 700 or 800 miles to get to RatStock. So, yeah, there's that. Found this t-shirt, thought it was appropriate for the moment. Yep, bad decisions all around. So, I'm gonna clean up in here a little bit so I can really work on doing some running boards, and hopefully I can knock those out in an evening. I guess we'll find out. I guess I'll update you again when I get the car back here. Well, there she is, tucked away. See you in Illinois. Well, this is the update. We are in Illinois. You can see the master behind me. This is actually the end of the day. You're going to see some video after this of the cars of the build-off that was in Davenport, Iowa. But let me just tell you about the thrash from Wednesday into Thursday. So Joe came over again, helped me with electric, had some lights, some lighting issues, some electrical issues. He fixed a lot of that. We're still having some charging issues that I'll fill you in on, but from Wednesday to Thursday was a long night. Stayed up until about 4 o'clock in the morning to get the running boards done while Joe was helping. He left almost 2 in the morning. Anyways, we are here. We are in Illinois. We did make it to the build-off, so that was awesome. It is an incredibly hot day. It was a long drive. It took us almost 14 hours to get here from Pennsylvania, but the car did make it, well, it made it in the trailer, but it did make it from where we're staying in Kewanee, Illinois, to the build-off. As soon as we pulled in there, blew an airline. Fortunately, everybody who's there is awesome, and I was able to get a splice right away. Took some aluminum foil and some pans and made a heat shield for the airlines under the hood, so that's fixed. We made it then to Davenport, where the build-off was. I'll put the videos, like I said, after this. But anyways, on the way home, noticed, well, when we were there, noticed that we weren't charging. Bought a jump pack at Northern Tool, where the build-off was hosted in Davenport. Got it started going down the highway. We were about 37 miles from home, which is where we're staying right now, and pulled off on the side of the road. Fortunately, there was a Walmart there. Unfortunately, that Walmart didn't have any automotive batteries. Fortunately, after that, there was an O'Reilly Auto about a half mile from there that we were able to walk to. The lady behind the counter was nice enough to sell us a battery, drop us off at the vehicle. Turns out the alternator is apparently bad and not charging at all, because we only had about 11.5 volts on the battery. That was when we left the build-off, and then we were down to like 4 when we parked at Walmart. So anyways, it is the end of Friday. I am exhausted, sweaty mess. We made it. We're home. RatStock is tomorrow, so with the new battery we got, we're going to make it there. I'll have to figure out the alternator when we get home to Pennsylvania, because neither Napa or O'Reilly in Geneseo, that's where we were, Geneseo, Illinois, neither of them had alternators for a 1995 Chevy with a Vortec V6. So when I get home, I will be replacing the alternator, and then we should be good to go. So I'm going to sign off for now. The build is done. The build made it to the build off. It was judged. We'll find out what happens tomorrow. And right now you'll get to enjoy some videos of the awesome builds at RatStock. Signing off. See you guys later.